in chains on an island. Hadith of Tamim Bazari. Okay? But then the Prophet ﷺ suspected a Jewish boy in Yathrib, now known as Medina, Dajjal. How could he suspect someone in Medina to be Dajjal when Medina is not an island? And the boy he suspected to be Dajjal was not in chains. The answer is that the Prophet ﷺ knew that Dajjal had been released. And this event is meant to communicate that knowledge to us. Because it is only if he is released from his chains that there is a possibility to see him in Medina. Can that boy be Dajjal? No. Because the Quran tells us that Dajjal wants to rule the world from the throne of Nabi Sulaiman alayhi salam. But this boy died and no link at all with ruling the world from the throne of Sulaiman alayhi salam. So Ibn Sayyad could not have been Dajjal. Okay. If Dajjal is released and he's on a... how come we can't see him? Because he's not in our world of space and time. A day like a year, a day like a month, a day like a week are three stages of his life in which he's not in our world of space and time. Only when his day is like our day would he be in our world of space and then we see him. But there's evidence that he's everywhere, particularly in Makkah today. Oh yes, you could see the evidence of Dajjal in Makkah. When Dajjal appears in person, however, he will not come from the island. He'll come from the east. When he appears in person, he comes from the east. But the island is bitter. And I've given, unless you have been eating biryani and going to sleep, you will be unaware of all the evidence I have provided to prove the point that the island is bitter. Okay. Now then, Nabi Isa alayhi salam left this world 2,000 years ago at the age of about 33. And when he returns exactly as he left. He would not have aged by even one day. So between that world and this world, there has been some kind of a connection that you would not age when you are away from this world. The young men are in the cave sleeping for 300 years. And after 300 years, when they wake up, they ask each other, how long have we been here? And one of them said, a day or part of a day. Extraordinary, because if you've been there in the cave for 300 years, after 300 years your beard will be long from here to Manchester. So you'll be able to see very clearly. Your fingernails long. 300 years. But no, they were exactly as they were 300 years earlier. They had not aged at all. That's why he said a day or part. So it appears that they were not in our world of space and time for 300 years. Is that okay? Because they did not age. Okay? But then Surah Al-Kahf tells us that every single day of those 300 years, every single day, they were moving from this side of the cave to that side. وَنُقَلِّبُهُمْ ذَاتَ الْيَمِينِ وَذَاتَ الشِّمَالِ. Because the sunlight entered here in the morning, the sunlight entered here in the evening, and the bodies were attracted to the sunlight. So for every single day of those 300 years, they were in this world of space and time. So now Surah Al-Kahf is telling us it is possible to be simultaneously in the samawat and in this world. Simultaneously. That is Dajjal. He is simultaneously in that world and this world ever since he was released from the time of Nabi Muhammad alayhi salam.
That hadith where the Prophet suspects Ibn Sayyar to be the Dajjal, how do you correlate with his other saying that he will come for 40 days? If he knew that he will have one day like a month, one day like a week, and one day like a year, would he not automatically say that this is not the phase for the Dajjal to be in our space and time?
I believe, and when you meet Nabi Muhammad alayhi salam, you can ask him. I believe that the event of Ibn Sayyar is meant to communicate a message to the world that Dajjal has been released. That is the importance of it. But that message has not reached. 1400 years have passed and it still has not reached us.